I had all these notes, man, and I was locked and loaded, and I was ready to talk
And then
about.
did you tear them up?
No, I didn't
There's
tear.
no
I didn't tear, but I'm like, LSU 17-7. 8 minutes and change left in the third quarter. Everything going their way. Kyle Field is quiet, which is one of the best atmospheres in all of college football. And then Nussmeier, who I've bragged on and talked about how good he is, scrambles to his left and bit off more than he can chew and tried to make the big play when he didn't need to. They get the turnover. The place goes nuts. Insert Marcel Reed. And next thing you know, you look up and this stuff went bananas. 21-0 run in 9 minutes of time. Like, it literally went from A&M looked like they were dead in the water to insert Marcel Reed, and now A&M looks like the best team in the country.
Well, two things with it is LSU could not run the ball.
They don't even try
at all. And they didn't even really
try.
And that was when you're playing in this league, the SEC, you have to have some level of running because they missed the field goals, and then another one they didn't even really get an opportunity because the holder got hit upside the shoulder. But in that type of environment on the road, you have to have some level of running game, and they didn't have any. And then once Reed comes in, the beauty of it is LSU was so disciplined defensively up until that point. And then as soon as you insert the running element at the QB position, everything opened up. Everything.
And listen, he's already played this year. He served a couple weeks. He beat Arkansas in a close game. So he's gotten some reps, which I think is good. Yep. LSU was not prepared for him. Like that. That's not who they prepared for. They weren't prepared for all the zone read stuff, and it worked like crazy. And you could tell Marcel Reed knows how to run it. Like he holds on to it late. Later, you could see that they inverted it and he ran inside. Like he's just got a good feel. Mm-hmm. And I love, by the way, LSU goes down the field and scores. And what happens? They come out 1st down and 10, and they throw a bomb deep shot, which, by the way, Connor Wigman didn't throw all game. He didn't let it rip and throw one deep shot, and I think they needed to. And then they go down the field and score again. So obviously it was a huge game. Whoever lost this game, I think we pretty much felt like was out of the college football race. And whoever won was in first place. I just didn't foresee this happen. And Nussmeier collapses. He throws a bunch of picks. And here's what it matters most to me. When you talk about the run game, Brent, it's not because Nussmeier isn't good enough to drop back and throw the ball a bunch. It's because now A&M knows you're not running the football. And when they know you're not running the football, they can do all that exotic stuff and show man and play zone because they know you're throwing the football. And they fooled him. They fooled him a bunch of times. He made the one really bad mistake rolling to his left, but the one he throws to his right was because of coverage, disguising coverage. The one he throws back over the middle was because they rushed off the edge and then sagged in the middle and covered the back. So, very good deception, but you're right. Missed opportunities. Like if I'm LSU, I'm going, I should have been up 21 at the half. Like I should have built this big lead. 2 missed field goals, a bad snap on a whatever the crap that was on a field goal when they weren't even ready. The crowd played a role, but unbelievable turn of events. And I don't think A&M has a quarterback controversy anymore. I think they're pretty certain that's Marcel Reed's job now moving forward.
And I thought that, I remember, forget what week it was. I think when they played Missouri. Yeah, because Missouri was ranked 9th at the time. Looking at the tape up to that point, he just looked like the better player. But then Wigman comes out and plays against Missouri and has a phenomenal game against Missouri. And you're like, okay, that's their guy. He's their starter, all that sort of stuff. But what he brings to their offense, and then obviously what they can do defensively along the defensive line, they covered well enough in this game. And then once the onslaught came, they started getting the turnovers. But and
here's why they're better.
They're in the driver's spot in the SEC.
Well, and here's why they're better too. They're better because they're not a great offensive line. They've got a couple good backs. Their receivers don't get a bunch of separation. But now when you insert a quarterback that can run the football and you get that advantage up front. By the way, he can't just run the football. That dude's got gas. Like
Yes.
When he hits the gas, he's moving faster than everyone on the field. You could tell, which was crazy, the speed difference. But now, guess who the offensive coordinator is for A&M calling plays? Colin Klein. That's what he came from. That's what he did at Kansas State. That's the system he grew up in. And so I think it meshes perfectly for what they do. And A&M, you're right, in the driver's seat. Again, they play Texas late in the year, and they play that at Kyle Field. So
Yes.
we thought it'd be a great season for A&M to start the season. We talked about them a lot, and I think I think this further solidifies that.
Like South Carolina, though, next week becomes at South Carolina is always an interesting game. We've talked about that before, but like at South Carolina versus New Mexico State, at Auburn, and then Texas at home. Like, and the other thing, it doesn't necessarily eliminate LSU from, I think, going to the SEC championship game in any way. Like this game could end up being a rematch with how all this stuff works out potentially.
Yeah.
So,
It
but
could.
yeah,
You're right.